The Waterford Healing Arts Trust began in the 1990s, really from being a hospital-based arts programme based in Waterford Regional Hospital, and that is still the core of what we do. Essentially what we're about is about bringing live arts experiences into people's lives, particularly when they are most vulnerable, when they are ill or recovering. And we believe that arts experiences and aesthetic experiences enhance our quality of life at every level. One of the first things that my predecessor, Afric Gray, began in the early days was the art cart.
I do art sessions with the children paediatric ward 2 afternoons a week, and it's just bringing art materials in a converted medicine chest, an old wooden medicine chest. So it's full of modelling clay and crayons and charcoal and paints and loads and loads and loads of paper. And so you just go bed to bed and just invite the children if they'd like to paint or draw or make 3D pieces, which the boys, teenage boys, kind of go with that. It's a bit more cool. Children take to it like ducks to water. They love the opportunity to do something that they have a say in.
We have a Healing Sounds programme that comprises of a monthly live music performance by musicians, a different musician every month. They perform in the foyer, and after that they move into the wards and the outpatient clinics and perform for patients there. It provides a very beautiful kind of reverie, if you like, in the course of what can be a stressful day. But it's important to us that it's the patient's decision whether to have music or not. It has grown also to renovate this building, the Centre for Arts and Health, the first of its kind in the country. We've been having artists in residence every year since the early days. We give them a studio for 6 months and they work on a body of work, often influenced by the acute hospital context. And then that work is then exhibited in the hospital. Last year, Emily Robin Archer, our then artist in residence, used the internal postal system as a way of getting people involved in art making and storytelling. So often the artist in residence is bringing quite innovative practices to the programme.
One of the reasons I wanted to come to the residency was to spend more time working in a more collaborative context and open up my studio practice to engage with other people rather than spending long periods of time, as I was doing, working towards shows in my studio. So it was a good chance for me to extend my practice, which is based around memory and a lot of personal memories about home and place. But I wanted to open that up and to hear other people's memories and other people's stories.
We are currently running participatory music making sessions in 6 different mental health settings, but also with people with intellectual disabilities and so on. We've also run and will run more music training sessions for mental health nursing staff, so that when we're running music making sessions for mental health clients, that the nursing staff can also become active in that process.
We feel that the clients and patients here benefit in a very big way from the sessions. They develop their confidence, it helps them to feel relaxed, it helps them to feel calm, and on the other side, other clients report feeling energetic. It's a great way for them to interact with each other and others.
When we come in, most of the time they'd have already started without us. They'd have all their own instruments out and there'd be rhythms going, and so they're so really enthusiastic about it.
It's very hard sometimes to get people in a mental health setting to raise their energy, but this happens without them being aware of it. Patients that would normally sit in a chair and won't transfer to another group, they're actually involved and they're not aware of it, and they're staying for their hour. Before they'd be in and out, just they can't stay, but they have, over the 3 years, they have developed a staying power.
We have a weekly arts open studio for people living in the community, led by Claire Meany. It's a very person-centred activity, as in each person in that workshop is on their own creative journey, working on their own project.
I'm here about a year or two. I liked drawing and paint. I've always had an interest in art since I was a child. And what I'd like to do the week after next is paper mache.
We provide a service for people with learning disabilities, and part of our work is providing them an opportunity to work in an environment outside our own, and that's where the Waterford Healing Arts Trust has been vital by way of art workshops and by way of music workshops, which we find are very effective. The people who use services with us look forward to them every week, and are penciled in as part of their timetable, and it's been invaluable encouraging in them to deal with their artistic side.
We have a library, an arts and health library, and that's linked to our role as a national resource organisation or support organisation for arts and health. So we help other people who are developing and running arts and health programmes through advice and support. We run continuous professional development sessions for artists working in healthcare contexts. Arts and health really is an evolving area of work in Ireland. Renal dialysis patients are coming into the hospital 3 times a week, and they're on dialysis for 3 or 4 hours at a time, and that can be very frustrating, at the very least very boring. So we have 2 artists, Philip and Boyer, that are engaging the patients in art making, and Philip is working with 2 extraordinary patients, Frank and Joanna.
The 2 patients I've worked with the most have actually developed a pride in their own work. Art making, especially visual art, uses a side of the brain that doesn't comprehend time. Patients have 4 hours lying on a bed and they can't move and they're hooked up to the machine. The time passes so quickly for Frank in particular. You know, I play a very small part in that unit, but I do have a part in it, and I feel very good about that.
I'm on dialysis. I'll be on it 3 years now in June. So Philip is coming in and starting me drawing, doing the basics first. This project is about people in the dialysis unit or working the dialysis unit, or patients and people that we'd see 3 times a week, so just were coming into the unit. When I start on drawing somebody's face or have a photograph to work with, the time just flies. Just from the time you start working on somebody, you don't ever think about how long it is on dialysis. It just goes so quick. And I had never any experience with art. Starting off, I never thought I'd get to do something like this. It's great therapy, I'd say, for somebody that's stuck into one position for 4 hours. So I'd recommend it to anybody if they ever get a chance to do something like this. It's well worthwhile.
When you're after dialysis and you're after one procedure and loads of operations, you just want to be left alone in your misery, if that's what it is. But I wasn't miserable either. It's just that I didn't think, you know, it's almost a stage where you think, is there life with this life, you know? And so Philip opened the door and I just did my poem then, and he thought it was delightful. The healing arts is, I can't, if I was to say the difference it's made, I couldn't even begin. It'll just have to be seen in what we do, because it's given me life again.